In part one of this challenge, I took a £10 note to Morrisons and had a look to see what craft beer I could get for the money. I managed to get 6 beers in total, and we've already tried 3 of them in the last video, which I will link. Overall, the beers had a decent quality to them, and I would probably have paid £10 just for them, so interested to see how these final 3 stack up. Hello and welcome to another episode of JD Booze Reviews. As mentioned in the little intro, this is part 2 of my Morrisons Craft Beer £10 challenge. Best name I could come up with. So if you want to see part 1, I will give it a link, and I think you can also do a little card thing up there, I believe. Maybe that side, not too familiar at where to point yet. But we tried 3 beers in that video, and now it's time to try out the final 3 beers that I managed to get from Morrisons for just a crisp £10 note, which is a pretty good deal if you, I think you'll agree. So the first beer we're going to try is from Norway, and it is Lervig, and I believe it's called House Party. So let's get that one from the fridge. So yeah, Lervig House Party, a 4% session IPA that is a little bit different to the last video. We had a bit of a wave of high and low percentages, whereas we've got 2 low percentages followed by 1 big high percentage. So a 4% IPA, and yet from a Norwegian brewery. I've had a couple of their beers before in various different boxes that you can get online, but never had this one, so interested to see what this is like. So let's give this one a go. So still need to improve my beer pouring skills, I think, especially from a high, having to do quite high so the camera can see it. But that's not a bad pour. So that is, let's just have a look at that one. Yeah, it's a little bit cloudier than I was expecting. I can just about see through the glass. As an IPA, I imagine an IPA is something you can see through. It will have it has a golden colour, but you can see through it. Whereas this is a bit hazy. But it definitely smells like an IPA. It smells fruit, smells juicy. Almost, I was going to say it's almost New England IPA, quite juicy, especially with it being hazy. That is a more traditional New England IPA thing. So maybe that's what they were going for, but let's have a taste. Definitely not a New England IPA. It's not juicy enough. It is more IPA than a New England, more standard IPA than a New England IPA. So that is, being 4%, it's quite low percentage, but that is very nice and mellow. I get a nice bit of hop, a nice bit of the hops. I get a nice bitterness, I get a nice fruitiness, but I mean, I'm probably expecting too much with it being a session IPA, but that is, yeah, nice and chill. Nothing spectacular, but for a session IPA, for something that is designed to be drank on a session, i.e. several pints of, that is, something that I would certainly have several pints of and not feel too woozy afterwards. It's easy drinking, really easy drinking. I could probably polish off this bad boy pretty quickly, but I think it'd be a bit boring of a video if you just sat there and watched me drink it and ramble on. Unless that's something you want to see, I could do live shows where I just ramble and talk until the glass is empty. That's basically my egg timer. Until the glass goes empty is how long I talk for. Especially with a live show, if it's a really nice beer, it might only be a 20-minute show. If it's not a beer I can drink that easily, it might get a little bit longer. So that's something that I may look into. But yeah, Anyway, onto this beer. Carrying on talking about this beer. I give a thumbs up on this one. I think it's nice and easy to drink. Nice and easy drinking. It's just a good session IPA. What more can I say? So next beer we're going on to is another session IPA. However, this is going to be a hazy session IPA. Although this one is quite hazy too. Hazy off. I'm going to have a haze off. Let's see. So next beer we have is Perpetuous, a hazy session IPA from Kirkstall Brewing. Kirkstall Brewing are based in Leeds in the UK. Well, near Leeds area. But I've, again, had one or two of their beers. Don't believe I've had this one before. So let's just crack on to see how it compares haziness wise. Interesting. I need to hold it up higher for you. I was taken aback by the colour. So, for something that's describing itself as a hazy IPA, I can see the camera through it compared to the last day we had, where it's not as easy. I struggle to see through. So, interestingly, calling this a hazy IPA, but so this has got a very different aroma to it compared to the last one. Last one I could get so a bit of fruit, a bit of the juiciness, like I say, a bit New England IPA, whereas this is quite grassy and quite sharp, I guess is the right word. It's hard to explain. It's very much, I get the grassiness of probably the hops. So let's have a taste of this quote unquote hazy IPA. So I forgot to check what percentage this was. So this is 4.2, so slightly more than the last one. It's a little bit harsher than the previous one. A lot more bitter, a lot more harsher on the tongue. I get I'm getting mostly the hops, a hoppy bitterness, which is okay. I'm not against. A nice bitter IPA, a nice West Coast IPA, for example, is very nice and bitter. It's a bit less easy drinking than the previous one, but still perfectly fine. Like, I could probably drink a pint of the last one in 10 minutes, and this one, for example, 15 minutes. It's not that harsh to drink, but it is a bit more of a bitterness shock to the system on your mouth than the previous one. If that makes sense. I mean, it's definitely not a hazy IPA. Like, I would not call this hazy in the slightest, so I'm not sure what's gone wrong there, or whether that's just what they decided to call it, but definitely not hazy. But a decent beer, and again, for the price that I paid, I'd buy a case of this for that price, like for that price per can. And I wouldn't be mad about it. So that is, again, a thumbs up. I was never expecting any of these beers to be horrible, but to say I only paid £10 for 6 beers, so basically less than £2 a can, I am amazed by what you can get. Craft beer has always had quite a stigma for being quite high priced, paying £6 a pint. Yeah, you can go to Morrisons and get a decent supply for only a tenner. This challenge has kind of opened my eyes a little bit to that kind of stuff. But yeah, now we're on to uncharted territory. So the one that caught my eye the most in the shop was a 7% beer. I believe it's 7%, 7 and a bit percent, for just £2 a bottle. This might be the one that I'm going to least like, but we'll see. I'm not reserving judgment. It just, something doesn't add up there, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. But let's get it open and see what happens. So my final beer today is Lagudale, which I'm not sure who the brewer is. I've tried to work it out. I think it's just Brasserie Goudale. So this is a French beer. So this looks to be a blonde beer from the poor French that I know. So crack that one open, and let's see. So straight away, you can tell we're not in IPA territory anymore. Very much a different shade of golden. This is more strawberry blonde than golden. Well, it is a blonde beer, so that probably explains it. So we're getting wheat beer vibes from this. Definitely smell a different composition to the previous beers, but also high alcohol content. Much higher, another 3% higher alcohol content than the last couple of beers I've had. But yeah, I get like a strawy sort of aroma. But yeah, let's give it a try. So yeah, I get wheat beer vibes. Like if you had a wheat beer, which I'm not sure if most people would have, but like an Erdinger, it very much has like a sweeter taste, very sweet, and almost, as much as it is a wheat beer, you can kind of get the taste of the wheat. It's a bizarre way to explain, but much sweeter than the last two, and you do get that hint that this is a strong percentage. But I'll be honest, if I wasn't told that this was 7.2%, I believe. 7.2%, yeah. If I wasn't told this was a 7.2% beer, probably wouldn't know. It's very clean and crisp. Don't know why I added the pop at the end of the P, but it's very clean and crisp, very, like I say, sweet. is almost white winey, very in that kind of vein. You do get, after the sweetness initially, you do get a bit of beery bitterness as a finish, as an aftertaste. But for £2, this was £2. That is definitely worth £2. So yeah, that is another success. So that is, yeah, out of the 3 that I tried today, I will probably say, even though this is a stronger percentage, I think the one from Lervig I enjoyed more, personally. A lot more my preferred tastes. Now, I don't have really much preference when it comes to beer. I will kind of drink anything that's wet. I'll appreciate all styles as much as I can. There's certainly some that I dislike more than others. But there's always one. I always say you don't dislike that kind of style or that kind of or beer in general. You just haven't found the right one yet. And I've definitely had some good beers of the style that I dislike. But none of these I have really disliked. There's a few that I was a bit confused by, like the Hazy Session IPA that wasn't hazy. But overall, again, I would probably be happy paying near to £10 for just these 3 cans. In terms of quality, in terms of overall sort of result, and overall finish on them, I would happily pay £10 for just these 3. So to say that I've done a last video that I said the exact same, technically I'm £10 up. So that is probably going to do it for this video and the Morrisons Craft Beer Challenge overall. So thank you very much for watching this video, and thank you very much if you watched part 1 and 2 of this craft beer challenge. I've quite enjoyed doing it. It was something different that I thought would be a little bit more different to just doing a straight beer reviews. And I'm going to look to doing more kind of stuff like this in the future. So if you did like this video, give it a like, comment which beer do you think in this set do you think you would have enjoyed the most, and we will catch you on. I'll catch you on the next video.